know I am, and I know another guy who is definitely ready to rock. So please welcome Vikas Yadav, who is going to be talking
Hi,
about next generation applications in ColdFusion this morning. I can't wait to see all the cool stuff he's going to show us. Um, yeah, we've got a lot of sessions today. We've got 4 of them, and this is the very first one. So buckle up, everybody. Over to you, Vikas.
thanks, Mark. Good morning, good evening, everyone. Let me share my screen first.
Are you on a Mac, Vikas?
Yes.
Have you used Connect on that Mac yet? Because you might have to give it
Yes, I
permission.
have used it. Yes, I'm
Yeah, it
dropping my
does.
PPT here.
Yeah, you should just be able to share your screen also, but
Uh-huh.
um,
I think it's load processing, so it'll take a few minutes.
okay. I guess I should have had you upload this while we were waiting. That's on me.
That's done. That's done. Just
There we go. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. I see it.
uh-huh. Yeah, so you're able to see the PPT?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, fine. Good morning, everyone. I welcome you all to my session on Adobe ColdFusion powering next generation application. In the world where speed, scalability, interoperability are the key, developers are constantly looking for a platform that can keep up not just with the modern trend but with the future. While ColdFusion has its reputation rooted in its legacy, it's quietly evolved into a powerful and modern engine that is equipped with the features like native binary serialization, RESTful services, seamless cloud deployment support, enhanced PDF generation, charting, and strong Java interoperability. So, apart from that, there are multiple tons of features that ColdFusion provide that makes it a modern platform. So whether you are building an API first architecture, deploying microservices in container, integrating with cloud native platform, ColdFusion has tools and performance to back you. So over the next few minutes, we'll unpack these enhancements and see how ColdFusion is positioning itself as not a legacy root, but a modern, secure, and enterprise-ready platform. Before we dive in, let's look at the agenda for today. We would be looking at the challenges in the modern application development, cold fusion evolution from legacy to leading edge, core pillar of modern platform, API first, RESTful services, high performance serialization that is native to cold fusion, container and cloud native architecture, security, we will also deep dive into building microservice ecosystem with ColdFusion. Along with that, we would be taking a look at enhanced capability that ColdFusion provide, like PDF, charting, Java interoperability, and modern CFML. And then we'll go for the conclusion. Okay, coming to the modern development landscape. So, what is the need of the hour? Uh, we we are going to see what all are the pillars that are need of the hour that we need for the modern application development. So the speed, scale, security, agility, interoperability, cloud native. So we see speed, how rapidly we how rapidly an application can be created, deployed. So that is very important in these modern development landscape. The scale at which the platform can handle the load. So can be a billion of requests, millions of requests coming in at the same time. So how a platform is able to handle that. Security uh, security is again a paramount thing for a platform like ColdFusion. So protecting a sensitive data system, uh, sensitive data and system, that is a non-negotiable thing. Agility, how easy a platform is to adapt to a changing business need and market demand. Interoperability, it should have a platform should have a seamless integration with diverse system and services. Cloud native, uh, leveraging the cloud native infrastructure for resiliency and elasticity. So these are the modern landscape that is need for the R. Coming to the cold fusion, isn't cold fusion old? So addressing some of the common perceptions that are out there. Legacy, often it is associated with legacy stigma, that it is old, it has old version, outdated practices. But the reality is cold fusion has evolved uh, a lot and has undergone a major significant modernization that is that can beat any other modern language out there. So ColdFusion is JVM based. The foundation is JVM based, so it run on the robust, performant JVM machine. Modern language feature, ColdFusion has almost all the language features that any other leading edge programming language can have. Enterprise grade capability. It powers the mission critical application globally. So we see that ColdFusion has evolved a lot and is on par with any other leading platform or a language out there. Coming to the ColdFusion evolution, it has a JVM powerhouse, as we have already discussed. So it leverages the stability and the performance of Java. So entire ecosystem that Java provide. So sorry, entire ecosystem along with full Java full Java interoperability. So it has access to vast Java libraries that are out there. Simple syntax, powerful result. So ColdFusion has a very simple syntax that enable user to develop an application very rapidly, unlike what we have in Java or any other language. We have to do a lot of ceremonies around to perform a very simple task, but that is not in ColdFusion. So it's very plain and simple syntax. It focuses on the performance, on the core feature, without being involved into the ceremonies around. Coming to robust and secure code, so it has a built-in security and hardening tool that we'll be discussing, and it has proven itself as a stable app platform for enterprise application. Modern tooling, it has VS Code IDE support out there, package management, native integration support for any contemporary architecture pattern. So it has almost packed with everything that a modern language can have. Coming to the pillars of modern development. So in the modern ecosystem, we see uh, uh, the services, they are coming out in the form of microservices. They are not monolith anymore. So ColdFusion has a API first approach and effortless REST API creation, REST services creation. So RESTful design, we can build scalable stateless web services with ColdFusion. It has a built-in support for native declarative way to create REST API. It's very simple to use. From idea to functional API within few minutes we can create. And it also has auto documentation tools that can generate Swagger Open API documentation. So ColdFusion has a very native support with REST, and it allows user to very easily create a REST API. So if we see, is it visible, this code, Mark, or shall I zoom in?
Yeah, could you zoom it just an itsy bit? Although it's kind of hard to. People can go full screen, by the way. You guys
Okay.
all know you can full
Yeah.
screen it if you want to get it a
So
little bigger.
as we can see, okay, thanks, Mark. As we can see on the left hand side, how easily ColdFusion allow us to create a REST API. So we want to create a REST API to get orders. So on the left hand side, we see we have defined a method create, and in that method, we are taking input as order data. We are also providing a property as get arg resource as body. That this is the post request, and we want argument from body. And then we are defining REST path as create. So that would be one of the path for creating an order. And then what kind of data it produces, application JSON, and what kind of data it consume in the form of body, and what is the HTTP method that is associated with this particular method. So any normal method, we just make it remote and add some of the property to it. And on the top of component, we define REST equal to true and give the REST path, and that is converted to a REST API. So that easy how it is. And once it is converted to a REST API, we can directly register that in ColdFusion directly using the ColdFusion admin, or we can also do it programmatically using REST init application. Okay. So ColdFusion also has a very nice tool, or a very nice uh, uh, REST playground that is already available as a part of the admin itself. As you can see, it gives a playground to play with the APIs that we have created or we have registered. So you can see on the left hand side, we have one of the app that has the API registered in the form of order, inventory, and order create and get by order ID. So these are the three methods that are registered. So these are the three APIs. We can play around with it. We can post data here, get call a get method, get HTTP method. So that's the playground that is already provided by ColdFusion natively in ColdFusion admin. Next, coming to high performance serialization. So beyond JSON and XML, so ColdFusion has earlier natively supported XML and JSON serialization. So ColdFusion also has a support for Avro and Protobuf. So Avro and Protobuf are nothing but a binary serialization protocol. So they allow to serialize a particular data into a binary format. ColdFusion natively has these two method, serialize avro, deserialize avro, and similarly for protobuf, serialize protobuf and deserialize protobuf. So protobuf is Google's language neutral platform for serializing structured data. We'll have to define the schema that the data is in this particular format, and we want to serialize it to a binary format. We'll see why these serialization, how the serialization would help us. One of the example that is being provided here. So on the left hand side, we can see the schema, average schema. So in average schema, we see type as record and then product. So basically, it's a JSON. Product has a field ID, name, and price. So we are just defining a schema as what type of field it is. So product is a type of record. That means a struct, and ID, name, and price. ID is a type of int, name of string, price of double. So it's a schema for a corresponding JSON. And on the right hand side, we see how easily we are able to uh, serialize a particular uh, JSON, or natively you can say in ColdFusion struct. We see on the right hand side product ID, name, and price. And we are directly calling serialize Avro product along with the schema. So what this will do, this will internally create a binary representation of the same data that we have provided. So binary data that we get from Avro and Protobuf, they are very less in size, and that would definitely help going ahead. We'll see what kind of help that we get from serialization of these two. So one of the very important point that we get from high performance serialization like Avro and Protobuf is cost saving. So Avro, it reduces the size of data by 80%, and the similar is the case with Protobuf. So reduce data transfer, what does that mean? That how it translate to the cost saving? So lower egress charges on AWS, Azure, GCP, faster API response because we are because the size of the payload would be lesser, so the API response would be faster. Smaller message queue bill. So most some of the platform they charge in MBs and all. So then the size would be reduced by 80%, and these message queue bills and all will be much smaller. Storage cost for S3 would be reduced by 80%. Processing cost also, like the CPU time passing, that CPU time it will take to parse the string or the JSON or XML that we have, that would take some time. So in the binary format, so that can be saved, lower memory consumption and better GC performance in JVM app. So as we see, this high performance serialization has a direct benefit that we are getting in the form of cost saving. So these high performance serialization are mostly used in inter service communication. We would see how we can directly utilize that. Coming to the cloud and container native. So Docker integration, ColdFusion has native support for Docker integration. Lightweight, portable, it's self-sufficient unit. So Dockers are very lightweight in nature, and they are self-sufficient. And we can utilize the same Docker. We can spin Docker within few seconds, and we can use it for multiple development life cycle for testing, production, staging, and all. So ColdFusion directly has a native image there on the Docker Hub. We can directly pull it and just spin within few seconds. Then cloud agnostic deployment. We can deploy ColdFusion to AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. We can also have we can also leverage the cloud services like database, messaging queue. All all are very well supported and very well integrated within ColdFusion. We can also do manage the external configuration, manage environment specific setting outside the application. This is also orchestrator ready. It has a seamless integration with Kubernetes and Docker Swarm. So next, a function as a service. So serverless. ColdFusion has enhanced capability where we can invoke the AWS Lambda function directly. And so mostly AWS Lambda function, we can create AWS Lambda function and bind it with some of the event like HTTP event database changes, message queue. So ColdFusion has ability to that enables user or developers to invoke these AWS Lambda directly. So these lambdas has a lot of benefit in the form of cost efficiency, auto scaling, reduced operational overhead. Okay. So next, coming the about talking about the security feature. So ColdFusion has a security first approach. All the CV management, Adobe has a commitment to timely release the patches for the security. And Adobe ColdFusion has a lot of built-in functions to mitigate these kind of security vulnerabilities, like HTML format and code for URL, ES API integration for input validation and output encoding. Uh, Also, it has built-in security analyzer that is available as a part of VS Code IDE. Uh, So that enables user to scan their CFML code for common vulnerabilities like XSS SQL injection. ColdFusion also allow to do blacklisting and whitelisting that gives us a granular control over the allowed path information. Then ColdFusion has CFO auth built-in support for CFO auth 2 for a secure authorization. So all these we see, these are few of the basic pillars, or we see the basic requirement for the modern first approach or modern development landscape. Another security features that ColdFusion has, it has great integration with SAML, like SAML authentication is LDAP, as well JWT based authentication. We can securely transmit data between different parties using JWT web tokens, and CSRF protection, built-in defense against cross-site request forgery. Collision also has continuous update targeting toward OWASP top 10 focus, and it has a secure profile and auto lockdown. As we already know, ColdFusion provide these tools or these features so that the production environment is not vulnerable to any kind of security risk. So the new thing that has come very recently is support for CSP. CSP offer protection against XSS. So CSP is enabled. Once it is enabled, it will disable all inline JavaScript styles. So to allow these inline scripts with CSP, ColdFusion uses nonce, and we have to use this flag. So that was all about security aspect about of ColdFusion. Next, coming to another feature or another tool that ColdFusion natively support is GraphQL client. So GraphQL, it's a query language for APIs. Uh, so it is, you can say it's similar to REST, but more performant in the form that the data which is needed is only the data which is requested. So it allow you to query the specific data as per the requirement. As you see on the right hand side of the figure, so when we need only ID of a user, we query only for that particular ID. And if at the same time, if we are using REST, we would be getting a lot of, we would be doing a lot of overfetching that will give us a lot of other data as well. So this is one of the tool that is mostly used in high performance uh, communication. So if you want to get the response in uh, say more performant way, we can directly use GraphQL client support. So it also consume less bandwidth because the data size would be lesser, and overfetching is avoided here. So it just optimizes the data transfer. It also optimizes the underfetching. So this shows example how we can directly use GraphQL client in ColdFusion. We can get GraphQL client. We can use this get GraphQL client method, and we can give a URL, and followed by we can give the GraphQL schema. So GraphQL schema is actually the a kind of JSON that we want. So it is very similar, but not exactly same. But it is very similar to, we can have a translation between JSON to a graphical schema. That if a JSON say contain 100 fields, and suppose we want just 2 or 3 fields in our uh, as per our requirement, then we can only query for those 2 fields. So this is the way how we can directly query these GraphQL servers to get these response. Next is MS Graph API integration. So MS Graph, it enables developers to integrate and automate tasks across Microsoft services like Microsoft Entra and Microsoft Exchange Online. So ColdFusion enable users and developers creating and managing a user store on Microsoft Entra. So it opens a possibility for a Cold Fusion user to use uh, everything that is available in the Exchange Microsoft Entra directly natively with Cold Fusion. So next thing is central config server. So central config server is a centralized server that allow us to manage Cold Fusion administrator setting. Suppose we have a lot of instances for Cold Fusion, and we want to manage it at some central location. So this is the place from where we can manage all the instances administrator setting. So we can add, edit, delete all those setting. We can also sync across all the connected server at the same time. We can also organize the server into clusters, so that we can test it on a staging and then apply to the production seamlessly. And it also has a version control where we can track and roll back the changes using version history of Cold Fusion admin configuration. Okay, so coming to the so these are the pillars that we have seen, and these are some of the great capabilities that Cold Fusion has that allow uh, it to be more modern application friendly. So we see how Cold Fusion, how we can directly use those to build a microservice in Cold Fusion. So why do we need Cold Fusion for microservices? So it has these benefit. We see it provides a low barrier to the entry. It has a performance benefit because it is running on the JVM. Cold Fusion application can be very highly performant. It has native REST support, which simplifies creation of API endpoints and for inter-service communication, and a great database connectivity that Cold Fusion has. That can also be uh, used as one of the services to talk to. Then in the microservice environment, the messaging integration is a must, and a message broker. It has a great integration with message broker. We can very easily integrate Cold Fusion with RabbitMQ and Kafka for inter-service communication. And on top of that, we have this high performance serialization that uh, enables Cold Fusion developers to uh, use these to basically get the response fast to speed up entire microservice ecosystem. Post this, we will also be talking about few of the enhanced capabilities that Cold Fusion has. Uh, Powerful PDF generation and manipulation. So ColdFusion has a powerful PDF generation and manipulation through its tag, CFPDF tag and HTML to PDF tag. So CFPDF tag, it is very native to ColdFusion and support a lot of manipulation that is available for PDF, like form filling. So we can populate PDF forms with data using these tags. We can convert any HTML content to the PDF document, and we can also do merging, splitting, combining multiple PDF, and split the existing one. We can add password, redact. We can also have the digital signature. So all the kind of PDF uh, manipulation and generation uh, that is powered by Cold Fusion. So Cold Fusion has a great capability to do all these manipulation and generation for PDF. And recently, Cold Fusion has got a new engine for PDF generation and manipulation. Next, data visualization. So, data visualization is again a need of an hour, and we need data because the microservices, they are talking to each other. There are a lot of data that are going to the message queue, and there are a lot of microservices all getting up and down. So we need to visualize the data that is behind the scene. So for that, CF has a great capability in the form of CF chart. uh, So we can create dynamic and responsive chart directly using CF chart. So it support a variety of types, like variety of modern type as well, like box plot, donut chart, floating bar, histogram, and many more. So these are the new modern uh, type of charts that ColdFusion support. So we can easily bind the query result array structure directly with the chart, so as to so as to get the support of ColdFusion data structure, and we can directly utilize that in the form of charts. We can directly visualize that, and it also provides some of the customizations that we can have over the charts. Like if you want to do some kind of styling, some themes you want to apply over any of the chart, if you want to have multiple charts in one chart set, we can have that. So those kind of great capabilities CF chart provide. So next, seamless Java interoperability. So as we know, ColdFusion is very close to Java. So it runs on JVM. It has a great interoperability with Java. So we can directly access and instantiate class directly from CFM. As you can see on the right hand side, we have a CF Java tag and equivalent Java in the script based syntax. So on the right hand side, if you see from line number 3 to line number 16, we have uh, we have this Java class directly, and how we are utilizing that in on line number 18. If we see a class instance, so we directly have a handle to this particular uh, class object, and we can directly invoke class instance dot list file, and we can also uh, very easily use CFC. At the same time, we can also interoperate between CFC and Java object. So this also, apart from the vast ecosystem that that Java provide, uh, it also gives a great performance benefit to ColdFusion. So we can also have our custom logic in the form of in Java. So suppose there are certain code or certain library that is already available in the part in Java, we can directly utilize that. Or if there is a class that is already written, we can reuse that class directly in ColdFusion, and we can instantiate invoke method on that. So we can use it for all the purpose, and for that there is no bridge required at all. So ColdFusion has native support for Java. Uh, so apart from directly invoking the Java class class object, we see another Java interoperability feature that ColdFusion has. Any component can directly implement a Java interface and start behaving like a Java interface or Java object. So wherever anywhere in Java, if there's requirement for in this particular object, we can directly fit in component into a, a place where Java object was required. So we see component can implement these interface. Interface can extend another interface, and on the last example, we see how a component can implement a functional interface. So Java has a functional interface predicate, and ColdFusion component is implementing that predicate, and it is also overriding the function test and returning some response. So this component will now behave like a predicate object that can be passed to anywhere in the ColdFusion, along with be it ColdFusion or Java, we can directly pass this predicate object. So we can see it has a great bridge or interoperability with Java. Coming to enhance performance and scalability. So performance is again a key for the the ColdFusion. So it is highly optimized for modern workload. So it brings underhood performance enhancement. We do a lot of performance exercise to to make ColdFusion more performant. And we also optimize the execution engine so that the CFML parsing and execution time would be lesser. And the efficient resource utilization that is done as a part of ColdFusion, so that we see in the JVM memory footprint and better GC uh, collection. And apart from that, again, it has a scalability improvement and benefit where we can deliver fast, more responsive application with low infrastructure cost. So these are some of the enhanced performance and scalability that ColdFusion provide. So after this, we are going to see modern CFML, how ColdFusion is as modern as any other language out there. So ColdFusion has support a lot of new syntax that we are going to see. Arrow function that is in the form of lambda expression. We see on the right hand side, we have the example. So we can have a lambda expression directly in ColdFusion, and we can utilize it with native member function. It has a safe navigation operator, which allows for a safe navigation over a property or a key. So we can see a user is a struct, and when we want to call some of the member on user, so basically we want to get a key from struct that is empty. Then we have a safe navigation operator here, that if that is null, it should not throw an exception. If it is null, then we can directly uh, utilize that to get some of the benefit directly. So this is one of the great syntax that ColdFusion has. Then member function for struct and array. So chain operation like array map, struct each. These are natively supported in ColdFusion. Elvis operator. So it provides a default value if a variable is undefined or null. Then try catch finally block, robust error handling for that. We have try catch. We can have a multi exception catch in that particular block itself. So as to remove the redundancy out if we have to catch multiple exceptions one by one. Then static support. ColdFusion has support for static variable, static block, and static method. Spread operator and spread and rest operator. So it allows a user or developers to iterate, so that they can easily iterate over an array, string, or struct, or we can have a component also as a iterable object. In destructuring support, we can assign values from array directly into a distinct variable. We can see on the right hand side, we have a person object, and we are extracting name and age into another variable uh, that is in the variable scope. Then trailing comma. So trailing comma is also one of the features that now ColdFusion support. So ColdFusion has a support in array, struct, function, param, and many more places. Then dynamic switch case. So cases can be a dynamic expression inside a switch expression. And iterator support. Um, so improved code readability, and null coalescing operator. So null coalescing operator is one of the recent operator that ColdFusion has got. it's a logical operator that return its right hand side when the left hand side operand is null. So we see these are the syntax. These are the latest syntax that ColdFusion has, and that makes the ColdFusion CFML a language for today. So again, concluding on uh, why choose ColdFusion in 25. So ColdFusion is a productivity powerhouse. It is for rapid development, less code, faster time to market, security feature. So it has a robust built-in security feature, and security is one of the major pillar that ColdFusion always look into. And modern architecture ready. It is very excellent for API, microservice, cloud native deployment, seamless integration with Java, database connectivity, and it has a vibrant ecosystem, active community. So ColdFusion, it's a strategic choice for building future-proof and high-performance web application. So next we are going to uh, look into a demo that I have created. Just 1 minute, I'll share my screen. Before that, I would want to tell you that at the end there would be a one quiz, and the winner will get some prize. Let me share my screen. Mark, are you able to see my screen?
Sure can. Could you boost the size of that just a little tiny bit?
Sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Is it okay
There
now?
you go. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay.
Everybody see that
So,
okay?
uh-huh. So I'll be using ColdFusion to create microservices, and then we'll see how these microservices interact with each other. So this is a kind of order management where we have a order service, inventory service, notification service, payment service, and shipping service. So order service is the first service that kick in once a user place the order. So in order.cfc, we see how we are creating an API out of this component. So we have defined a component with rest equal to true, and then rest path we have defined as order. Then we have a remote function create that takes input as the order data in the form of JSON, application JSON in the form of body, and rest path is create for this particular API. So HTTP method for creating an order would be of type post, because we are going to take input from user. And then what we are doing here in create API. So we are creating a payload here, and then we are adding to the database, and post once we have added to the database, we are going to publish it to a RabbitMQ. So RabbitMQ is nothing but a message broker, because these microservices would be running independently in 5 or 6 different containers, Docker container, and they will have their own sea of instances. So the way they would be talking is talking via a message broker. So RabbitMQ is a message broker where each microservices would be publishing its message directly to that broker, and then another microservice who are listening to that particular message will consume and perform some of the task. So this is a very basic API, the create API. It takes input as the order. It added to the database. It publish that order has created this particular message into the exchange, order exchange. So, and that's done. So the task of this particular service is done. And so once the order is created, then the payment service would kick in. And the what payment service is going to do, so payment service is waiting for a message in order exchange. So it will listen to a message that has come to the order queue, and once the message has arrived in the order queue, it will take that and check if the payment has processed for this particular order. So once it process that particular request, then what it does, it acknowledges in the message queue that the payment is done for that particular order, and update the message in the database, and update the status of the order as well. And so this is on message method we see. So on message, the message that we get, that we receive once we get it from the queue. And here we see we are updating the status of order as payment successful. So this was the payment service. I'll show you in action how it looked like. And once the payment services are done, that payment has updated that the payment for this particular order is received. So it will update its message into another queue or another exchange that inventory service would be listening to. So inventory service would again consume that message, process the order, and update the status, and update the inventory values, and again push the message to the queue. And so once the inventory service has added its message to the queue, then these shipping and notification service would be listening. So as soon as the inventory management is done, so for the sake of this demo, that order would be ready to be shipped, and shipping service will kick in, and at the same time it will search for any message in that is in inventory process state, so or that is in inventory queue. So it will just pull it out, do some processing of do wrapping and all, then update its message in the queue. And once it has updated it, and so that would be done for a shipping service. So these services we see they are working very independently, and if one service is down, so that would not hamper these any of the process. Suppose shipping service is down for some time, but even if it is down, then customer would be able to place the order. All the orders will be queued up in the in RabbitMQ or message broker, and once the shipping service is up, it will start consuming it. It can scale and start consuming at scale and perform the task. So these are the microservices that I have created. I have also used Docker for that. So as you can see, so I have around 6 or 7 microservices. So MySQL is one of the container that each of the microservice would be talking about to update the status. Order service will create the order in MySQL. If we see here, so one of the order that is already created. So this order we see it is already created, and so each service would be updating its status in this particular database. And this is the RabbitMQ container. This is again a separate container that these services would be talking to. uh, so this is a dashboard service. So dashboard service is again up in a different container. Here we can see live order processing. So we are going to create a new order. So we have a custom email SKU. So once we click on submit order, we see the order is submitted, and order is submitted. So this particular service would be talking to uh, this particular container, the order service, has talked to this MySQL container and publish its data, and also at the same time it has published the message to RabbitMQ. So if we go here and see, we have an order that is in new state, and we have the last updated as well. If we go to the message queue, so we see we have order exchange that is created, and we have the order created have pushed a message into the order exchange. So there were two queues that were listening to order exchange. They are shipping queue and they are the payment queue and shipping queue. So these are listening to that. So now what we'll do, it's in new state, and we are going to call payment service or the inventory service for that sake. So if you see, the payment service is up at 8502. So let me call that. So what it does, payment service is has picked the task from the message queue and processed the payment status. We can see on the status tab, the payment successful message is there. So the order's status has been updated uh, in uh, uh, in the database, and the new message has been posted in the queue. So now I'll see the next inventory services. Inventory services is running at another container at port 8503. So I'll just kick in that inventory service. So for demo sake, I have not started those as a listener, because that would be done within few seconds, and we won't be able to see the entire status update. So now the inventory has processed, and I think it has. Okay. So ideally, what should happen? There might be some issue behind the scene. Uh, I'll see what exactly it is. So what exactly would be done? That status would be updated to inventory processed, and once inventory is processed, we can kick another service that would be a shipping service. So once shipping service is kicked in, it will get the message from one of the queue and update the status here. So it's a simple demo of how we can utilize ColdFusion for creating uh, uh, microservices that are that are running independently, and they are talking to each other via a message broker that's very easy to integrate in ColdFusion. So this is what I wanted to show. Okay. Coming to, I'll just show about how it is talking to RabbitMQ. So for RabbitMQ, for publishing a message to RabbitMQ, we are creating an object for RabbitMQ client, and then we are just doing a basic publish for a message in that queue. So this is how we are utilizing create object to publish message in RabbitMQ. So that was about the demo. Just go back. I'll just go back to the PPT. So next is a quiz question that the winner would be getting some prize. So be ready to type your answer in the chat. So the question is, what all type of serialization does ColdFusion natively support, excluding any Java-based serialization or custom serialization? So what are the type of serialization, and how many type of serialization that ColdFusion natively support?
Ooh, we've got an answer from Steve, but I don't think that covers everything.
So the first answer that we get, that will get the prizes.
The first correct answer.
Yes, first correct answer.
I don't think there's one yet. I think folks are missing. That one looks close, maybe. What do you think,
Close.
Vikas? Did Jim hit it?
That is close, but not exactly.
Are we missing something still?
Yes.
All right, we're the prize is still up for grabs, folks.
First correct one will get.
Or maybe closest, because I think people are not hitting it. Let's see, Dave Watts. That's close. Is that right?
That also has something missing.
Okay. What about Casey's?
Something missing with that as well. I think Ruben is has got it correct.
Yeah, Ruben just nailed it. Do we have a winner?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, we have a winner. Ruben, you're the big winner. You win a hug from the whole Adobe team. No, you get a better prize than that. Ruben, if you could possibly either message me here or email me your email, we will get the prize over to you. My email is that. So please shoot an email over to me and we will get you your prize. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Vikas. This was an awesome session. Very, very full, chock full of information. So thank you. Everyone's exhausted now, but we have 3 more things we need to do today. So rally, everyone, rally. Let's get those, go get that coffee or whatever, no judgment, from the kitchen, and yeah, get set up. So like everyone, let's give a hand to Vikas, please. Yeah.
Thanks everyone for joining the session. Thank you.
There are a couple of questions. If we have a little bit of time here, and so let's just really quickly run through those. David Watts asks, does CF support Google Cloud Functions or Azure Functions as well as AWS Lambda?
No, as of now, not directly.
Okay. So, Dave, if that's something you're interested in, please put in an ER at tracker.adobe.com for ColdFusion. That could be something, if we get enough folks interested, that we could add. Michelle asks, will PDFs that are created by ColdFusion be accessible?
Yes.
The answer is yes. Yeah. There are multiple options to make ColdFusion generated PDFs accessible, and they can also be archival. There's lots and lots of options.
Redaction and all. There are a lot of manipulation that is already provided by CF PDF tag.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Steve H says, what is the appropriate return type for a RESTful endpoint returning JSON? I see you use struct in the order example.
So a ColdFusion automatically converts that to the produce type. So we have defined, if we have defined produce type as application JSON, and we are returning this struct, so that will automatically be converted to the application JSON type.
Very cool. Yep. Sounds good. And Steve, by the way, I think you saw me do that yesterday during my my talk. Also, I was returning a struct out of my endpoint, but the type was JSON, so it automatically internally does a thing. Awesome. Well, looks like that's all the questions that we've got. Thank you, everyone, for waking up early on the West Coast, or not waking up so early if you're on the East Coast. I don't know. I've come to this great talk. And this will be available on recording tomorrow. So if you missed a part of it or something like that, or want to go back and review, it'll be available for folks to rewatch. Definitely share that out to all your friends who missed it, so they don't have FOMO. And anyway, yeah, very cool. Thank you, Vikas, for the great talk.
Thanks, Mark.
And yeah, stay tuned, everyone, for the next talk that's coming up here. Oh gosh, what time? Very soon at 10 a.m. 10 a.m.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple hours, so everyone can go and get a run in, or maybe start a startup, or whatever it is that you're doing. And then we'll see you all back here at 10 a.m. tomorrow. We'll go ahead and stop the recording.